Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I got a topic today. This is my third time trying to record this video, so I think I know the topic well now. But my GoPro keeps failing every time. So I'm either one, not meant to record it, or two, I need a new GoPro. Let's find out. All right, so the song that unofficially brings you this video is called Tower of Snakes by a band called 18 Visions. I don't believe I've recommended it on here. Great band, great song. I'm pretty sure I've recommended 18 Visions before, but not this song. The breakdown of that song is insane. It will make you want to go run or sprint or punch something. It's epic. The name or that song is also fitting because this video is all about snakes in the grass. I guess this video really isn't about snakes. It's about what happens when you yourself are charmed by the snakes and you yourself find that the snakes get to you rather than you keeping your distance from the snakes. So I've done a few videos now where I kind of talk about, like, quote unquote, the haters, right? The people that, well, hate on you, the people that talk crap, the people that will try to bring you down no matter what, because they got nothing better going for them. It's easier for them to tear you down and tear everyone else down than it is for them to build themselves up. This could be, they could feel threatened by you, they could be jealous or envious. You know, there's a range of reasons why they may be the way that they are. But the fact of the matter remains that they are toxic and not worth your time. So, you know, whatever the reason that the haters are the haters, your job is to just ignore them, right? Because they will try to hold you back from your goals, from doing the things that you want to do in life, to keep you at their level. It's much easier for them that way. Now, there's a real danger, though, because you got the haters that you just know. They're always grumpy, they're always moody, they're always talking shit. They're never, like, you got the haters that are obvious. Those people, you keep your distance from. You see it, you recognize the pattern of behavior, and you just ignore it. However, there are also some people that are snakes. These are the haters that mask it. Perhaps they mask it through what seems like harmless gossip. Perhaps they mask it through what seems like harmless jokes. Perhaps they mask it through fake concern, when in reality, all these people want is the gossip and the dirt so that they can try to tear down other people, so they can talk bad about other people, so they can find a way to bring everybody else down and everybody else's perception of each other down to a point that makes them feel like they look good, that they are on the same level, or they are better than other folks. So how does this work? Oftentimes what this is going to look like is jokes, right? Jokes that aren't really necessarily between friends. They're directed at everybody. They seem harmless, but they are intentional in, like, the things that they pick. They're always jokes that are about other people, and they're small, right? Once or twice, and they're funny, right? Generally, they are funny, I'm not gonna lie. But then they get you to let your guard down, right? You sit there, you laugh at a couple jokes, and then all of a sudden, you know, you let your guard down. There might be jokes about you or other people, but then you start participating in the jokes because they're harmless jokes, right? Over time, you let your guard down. You know, the harmless gossip, which we feel is harmless, right? This is like, oh, this is like juicy details a little bit, and it's about other people, it's not about us. So then we engage in it, right? And then gossip grows. And then, of course, we find ourselves, we let our guard down, engaged in full-blown gossip routinely. The danger in all of this isn't even necessarily the hater themselves. It's that we let our guard down and then we become that ourselves. Suddenly, we let the snakes charm us. We ourselves let our guard down. We became the haters. The danger isn't necessarily that that person's a hater and talking shit about everybody and doing what haters do. The danger is that we were charmed. We fell. We did not hold ourselves to that higher standard. We did not pay attention. We did not identify the problem, the issue, the problem. The blame lies solely on ourselves. And this is actually where things get kind of difficult too, because then you find yourself being somebody that you didn't want to be originally. The worst part of all of this, though, the way you usually discover that you have fallen, how far you have fallen, is because the snake will always rear its head against you eventually. You will be the subject, you'll be the target next. You will find out that everything you were doing that you felt was harmless, that wasn't a big deal, was also being said and done, directed towards you behind your back. Suddenly you realize, oh man, what have I done? Everything I've railed against and said, I don't like this, I don't want to be this, I'm working to not be this. I fell, I became that. I thought this person was a friend, they were not a friend. I lost a friendship that I thought I had. All of these things. And it puts you down a dark path. It sucks to be in that place. It sucks to fall like that. Bruises the ego quite a bit, right? So the question then is, how do you get back, right? All is not lost, you know, it's not, you're already on the path once. So how do you get back on that path again? I bring all this up because I fell for this myself in the relatively recent history. And I've been back on this path, I'm back on this journey to get out of that. And the wonderful thing is, you know, muscle memory is still there. So, you know, once you realize how far you've fallen, it doesn't take as long to get back as it did originally to build these habits, to build these things. You can find a way to get back there eventually. The catch is that it's never easy, it's rarely fun, but it's always worth it in the long run. So let's say in a scenario, you thought that you were friends with somebody, you thought it was gossiping with a friend, you thought it was joking around with a friend about yourself, about other people, etc., etc., etc. And then you find out that that snake was not a friend the way that you thought they were. Now what? The difficult thing now is that you are grieving the loss of what you perceived to be a friendship, that you honestly valued and felt was a friendship. You are feeling like you now have to pull the knife from your back. And in a sense you do. So you start to grieve that loss of a friendship, and it hurts. It makes you mad, it makes you bitter, it makes you sad, it makes you wonder where things went wrong. But then in your evaluation, you kind of start to realize, wow, you know, I became a hater too. I let my guard down. I became like them. Who did I do this to? And now this is where it gets dark and it really sucks. Because then you start to think, where was I at? What was my baseline before that I was building off of, that I was working on? Now look how far I've fallen. And then you start to think, how did I do that? How did I let my guard down? Where did I go wrong and allow myself to become everything that I dislike? How did I get charmed? What were the warning signs that I missed? And you start to analyze them. And when you look back on things, it becomes obvious. You start to see it clearly, like, oh, we're right here. This person said this or did this, and then I said this and this and this. That should have been my red flag right there. I should have known. Oh man, this person asked this, and then I said this. Should have known right there. I went to this person and I told them this. It had nothing to do with me. Right there. Suddenly you start to pinpoint the instances that you let your guard down continuously. And you start to notice that, wow, in that moment I didn't even feel right about it. I just did it. Did it to fit in. That's a natural human thing. We all do this. And you start to analyze those situations, but you also start to think, why? You know, why did I let myself fall like that? Why did I say these things? Why did I do these things? And then you start to feel bad about it. It's like, man, I messed up, and knowing how much it sucked when I found out it was said about me, well, I did that to other people too. Why? For what benefit? What reason? Then you have to start making amends with yourself. Forgive yourself, learn to forgive yourself and move on. And maybe that even means making amends with other people, depending on what you said or did. You may have to make amends, and that is potentially going to be very difficult and very uncomfortable and a unpleasant process. Now, I feel like this has to be a two-part video, you know, because we're going into the how do you start making amends, but one of the things that then comes is that you have to start to remove that person from your life, right? You have to start distancing yourself, and that's not always easy. Sometimes it's not possible. As you make these amends and decide, I'm not going back, I've identified where I went wrong, and I'm getting back on the path that I want to be on, you have to distance yourself from the snake, or you will be charmed again. And make no mistake, you think that you're smart enough. You're not. It's a human tendency. It's an evolutionary thing within us. It is borderline impossible to keep your guard up and maintain a friendship or a strong relationship with this person. Now look, if it was a friend, in some cases, distant family member that you don't have to see regularly, remove them from your life. You can come up with the reason if you don't want to tell them the truth, but you just distance yourself from them, remove them from your life. But what if it's a roommate? What if it's a family member that you can't just completely remove? What if it's a coworker? What if it's somebody like that? What do? That is a lot harder because you still have to interact to an extent, but you can slowly move yourself away, move them away, distance yourself. You can do these things. You can do these things to ensure that maybe you don't fall the way you did. You have to distance yourself slowly and over time to avoid increasing drama or increasing tension, right? Over the course of a month or so, you just slowly distance yourself and pull yourself a little further away until you're at the bare minimum contact necessary. That becomes the goal. That becomes the mission. And then you maintain that barrier. It's much easier to maintain that barrier once you get there than it is to pretend that it doesn't exist at all. And perhaps that is like a whole topic within itself, because I've oversimplified all of that. I understand that. And it's never as easily done as it is said, right? But the general principle is there. Anyways, folks, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to listen to this video and every video. I truly cannot thank you enough. Beware of the snakes. And it's okay if you fall. I have too. I get it. I've been there. I am not above anybody in this topic. I am speaking from experience. But remember, getting back on the right path, it's never easy. It's rarely fun, but it's always worth it. The outcome on the other side is so much better than where you are now. But until next time, have a great day.